opportunity.
So apart from France, where you did Arabic for 2 years, then where did you go then?
So, yeah, so I've done the France thing. I've done my Arabic. They had a Sharia program there, but I didn't want to do the Sharia program there. It was a kind of, maybe not as traditional program as maybe in the Muslim kind of countries like Syria and Yemen and so on. So then at that time, the kind of the device from people like Sheikh Hamza Yusuf and Sheikh Nuh had obviously studied in Syria. Imam Zaid at that time had gone to Syria to study. So Syria seemed to be the right place. Mauritania was not, from the discussions, it wasn't conducive for long-term learning. People got ill and things like that. Yemen was also quite difficult, but Syria for a Westerner was doable. So I spoke to one of the brothers who had gone to the on the Rihla, and again, subhanAllah, all these people ended up doing interesting roles. It's Abdul Malik who got involved with Radical Middle Way. He was involved with Radical Middle Way. He's from Canada. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So he was in the dormitory next to me on the Rihla course. So I spoke to him. Yeah, I spoke to him. I said, look. He goes, yeah, I know this guy. He's studying in Syria. It was Faraz Rabbani. Right. So next one on the phone to Faraz Rabbani and saying, look, I want to come to Syria and just check out for studies. He goes, yeah, ahlan wa sahlan, marhaban. So then I went. I spent a couple of days with him. And I bumped into Sheikh Radwan, who became my scholarly friend and partner in the work here. I'd met him before in Glasgow, because obviously he would come back and forth as well, and people told me, oh, this is other weirdo like you studying, right? and no one really knows what he's doing either. So I met him a couple of times, but he was just formalities. Yeah, I'm studying this and that, and that was it. But then I met him in Syria as a proper studying, and again, we're all trying to work out, should we study in this place, should we study in that place, or should we be doing private studies? Everyone's giving different pieces of advice. Again, because we're the first lot to do this, there's no one to say, no, do this, do this, do this. So everyone's doing a different thing. Some people are studying Abu Noor, some people are studying Ma'ad al-Fat, some people are studying in the Takhassus, in the Kulliya, some people are doing private studies. So there's Ta'aleem, another madrasa as well. Some Westerners were there. So we're all doing different things, and everyone's trying to work out what is the right one to do. So I kind of spent about a few weeks there, and then I came back, because the place in France, they had opened an equivalent in Wales. So I thought, okay, it's in Wales, it's in the UK, maybe it'll be more relevant, right? So I came back and I did the first year of the program there. That's where the person Sheikh Mohammed Khatib, he'd come down to teach as well, from Liverpool, and there's a few others. So then what happened was, from there, I did about a year, but then I realized they're still in the beginning stages. It's still teething problems. It's not established yet. And what I did was I went to Syria. So I went back to Syria, and I did 2 years of studies there. So I spent 2 years studying there, private studies. Because I've already had the Arabic, and I had some Islamic studies, so I wasn't going there fresh. I already knew the language, so I went straight into studies. My first teacher was Sheikh Riyad al-Khirqi, who taught me Hanafi fiqh, and I studied a bit of Aqidah with him as well, and a few other things. And he was quite a young scholar at that point, but by the time I left, he was an upcoming scholar, and he actually got killed in the Troubles at the age of 45. A big loss for the Ummah. He would have been a really big scholar, going forward. Everyone kind of recognized that. So he was. I mean, these kind of people had a big impact on me, because I just saw complete dedication to learning and knowledge and teaching from morning to evening. This guy was like a machine. It was unbelievable. He just like, his house was just full of books. He was married, he has children, but he was just like from Fajr time, he was in the Masjid Amawi studying with Sheikh Abdul Razak Halabi, who was like the main Hanafi scholar then. And then he was coming back. He was teaching me. Then he was like teaching he basically taught all the way until Maghrib Isha. He was just like all day long. And it was like, he knew Shafi fiqh, Hanafi fiqh, he knew Hadith. He's just like amazing. It's like an encyclopedia. So, so I studied 2 years in that situation. And then I wanted to get married. So one of my good friends, Sheikh Dhakir, who is now in Leicester, runs Dar al Arqam. He was a lot of my kind of private circles of learning were with him, and to be honest, I owe quite a lot to him because he encouraged me to attend some of the classes in Abu Noor and got me in and so on, helped me. So he was very good brother, and he was married, he had children. So I kind of discussed with him, what do you think about getting married and studying? Should we not? Because some people were married, some people were not married. So again, you had two madhabs, you had two schools of thought. One was like, just study, don't forget marriage, right? Get your studies over and done with. The other school was no, get married because if your wife goes through the same experiences as you, she'll be on the same page as you, and then she'll understand your life going forward. So I thought, okay, I'm kind of halfway through my studies or coming towards the end. I think it would be a good idea to have somebody, who could understand what I'm going through. So I thought, okay. So I came back, and I got married, which was not easy because again, there weren't many sisters that would want to marry someone who's got no job. And relatively doesn't have financial security. So it took me a bit of difficulty. I told my sister, older sister, this is the type of sister I need. I can't have somebody who's not on the same page as me, otherwise it will cause me problems. That's the advice Sheikh Dhakir had given me. He said, if you get married, make sure your wife is busy. Make sure she's got something to do. Otherwise, she'll want you to spend a lot of time with her. And if you're busy studying, it's going to be difficult. But if you get into a program, it's fine. It works out. So I thought, fine, this is what I'm going to do. So I had to find someone like that. Alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it easy. I found somebody. And because, like myself, she didn't know any Arabic to begin with, I thought it might be difficult going back straight to Syria. But that time, the place in Wales had got a bit more established and had some really good teachers. And I thought, khalas, I'll just go there. I'll continue some studies. My wife will get some Arabic, and after a year, we'll head back to Syria. So, alhamdulillah, I think this is I see as a blessing that I studied in different countries and different scholars from different persuasions, because it gave me a good insight into the different opinions or the different ways of looking at our religion. And there's, you take from everybody. There's always something good you can take from everyone. So I even had I had a teacher from Kuwait. He was very staunch Salafi type, so you get a good exposure to all the different arguments, and I thought it gave me a broad spectrum of opinions, which I think then kind of shaped me into being quite wide. And then, so for example, there was Sheikh Wanis, who again at that time wasn't really well known, but then he became quite important when the Libyan thing happened. He went back. He was quite high up and then he's got a madrasa in Istanbul now. And then Sheikh, a couple of visiting scholars came, who again, some people have issues with them, but it's good to have studied with a number of different scholars. Sheikh Abdullah Judayat, that's the one from Leeds, from Iraq. He taught us Usul. So it's good to, whether you agree or disagree, that's a different matter, right? There's always going to be people that you agree, disagree, but you get at least a good understanding of where people are coming from, what they're basing their argumentations on. So what happened was, I was there it became a 3-year program. And then what they did was they affiliated with Lampeter University. So if you did finish the 3 years, you'd get your degree from the university. So I was in year two, and then what happened was the Syrian war happened. Sorry, not the Syrian war, the Iraq war.
Right,
The
right.
Iraq war happens this is in 2003 now. So the Iraq war happens, and then I'm speaking to like people, and the students over there having problems getting their what's called the residency, their iqama. There's a lot of trouble. They're thinking it might spill over. People from Syria had gone to fight in Iraq, and it's a lot of turmoil. So I wasn't sure if it was the right time to be going abroad with my wife. So I thought, okay, I'll just stay. I'll finish the program now. Another year. If I do another year, I've done the 3 years Islamic studies program. It's all in Arabic. So I'm studying all the kind of texts, and similar to studying in a university in the Arab world. And I will get a degree from the university. So at least it counts for something. So that's what I did. So I thought, okay, and then gave my wife a chance to also solidify Arabic and do some Islamic studies. So I finished that. So I managed to get my second degree, a BA Honours in Islamic Studies from the University of Wales. And then I went back to Syria for another 2 years. So this time I'm going back with my wife. So I'm married this time. Sheikh Dhakar's still there. Some of the other brothers that are still there. Sheikh Radwan's there. He's at the end of his studies. And then my wife, she, alhamdulillah, she gets a chance to study. She knows Arabic now. So she does, like, she gets ijazah in her Quran. She goes to Abu Nur, does all the Islamic studies program there. It's a 1 year program they do. And then she does some other studies with some lady scholars, which was really nice. She got to study with like some female scholars. So Syria was rich in that sense. You had lots
Tell
of
us a
scholars.
little bit about the female scholars there in Syria, because that's
Sorry?
something that I noticed when I went there. Just the abundance of female scholars who memorized Riyadh al-Salihin and the Ummahat al-Sitt, Bukhari, Muslim, Nasa'i, Abu Dawud. They memorized all these great things. And I mean, I hardly knew anybody who was a man that had done that. But then in Syria, you've got this institution just for women, and they memorized the 6 books of hadith. So, and that's quite interesting for people, our listeners, to know about. So, if you can spend a few minutes telling us
Yeah,
about.
so Syria was full of scholars. Did a good culture of learning, and there was a lot of female scholars as well. So, for example, in Abu Nur, which was, had your kind of madrasa, then you have your university program, your masters, the whole kind of spectrum of studies. They had an equivalent section for the females, and the teachers were all females as well. They were also graduates. Ma'ad al-Fat, that was a kind of Hanafi place. So the Abu Nur was kind of the Shafi school, place that you'd go to study. Ma'ad al-Fat was the kind of Hanafi school. But again, the Ma'ad al-Fat had a boys section or male section. So you like Sheikh Radwan, Sheikh Muhammad Aslam, Sheikh Tanwir Hussain, they all went through that program. And the equivalent to that was the female program. So they had the whole 6 year female program, and then the 4 year kuliya for females as well. So like some of my wife's teachers were graduates of that, still quite young women themselves. So there was and lots of women who had done Quran, lots of women who had like the different qira'as and ijazas and so on. So there was lots of female scholars for my wife to benefit from, and obviously it's a good role model for her as well.